It's time to step up your game.
Let's get ready to rumble!
You're listening to Game On.
Falcon Punch!
Your inside track to gaming and fitness.
Of course!
Mamma mia! We've got interviews one-on-one with your gaming experts.
Hi, folks. This is Jim Cummings.
This is Courtney Taylor.
This is Duke Nukem.
And we'll help you keep fit along the way.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Get ready, because Game On starts now.
Game on! Game on! Game on!
Hey everyone, Jeff Johnson here on GameNTrain.com and your host for Game On. It's Facebook Friday. Once again, we are bringing you the question. We want to know what you think, what your thoughts are for this week's question. But before we get into that, hope everybody's having a good Friday, and also Easter. That's where we're at right now. It's a good holiday time to enjoy time with your family, your friends, whatever you want to do. If you have time off from work, if you have time off from school, enjoy yourself. I know there's going to be turkey dinners. I know there's going to be loads and loads of chocolate, but that's the thing. That's the workout's kryptonite. We're going to have to hit that gym hard next week, so buckle in, enjoy yourself. Let's have ourselves a great weekend. So last week, we asked you about the issue of online only. So before we get back to our next question of the week, and this one's going to be fun. We got to have some fun with it. We're going to have a fun question, and that'll be happening in the video below. So be sure to check that out. There's a link to that video below and also on the GameNTrain site. Check that out when you have a chance. But this one is going over the reactions from last week, and the issue was a bit of a doozy. It was talking about online only. The whole issue with EA, Maxis, SimCity, Diablo 3, the idea of putting a single-player game and forcing you to play it online only. That's where the whole title of that came from. This big, monstrous issue that pissed off so many gamers, and we barely got any reaction whatsoever. I was surprised. I couldn't believe it. We only got 2 reactions on this issue. Bit of a surprise for me, but you know what? We'll go through the reactions. It's interesting to see how people think about these issues, so we'll check it out. If you have a comment that you want to get out there about this issue, feel free. I honestly feel that we might be a little late to the party on this one. I feel that EA has done a lot to sort of appease the gamers, to basically try and calm them down, because like I said, a lot of gamers were pissed off over this issue. Totally pissed off. As I showed in the last video too, as I showed in me asking the question, I could barely get through that without shouting through it. But honestly, they've done a lot. I mean, we've seen EA's CEO step down. We've seen the free game offer going out to gamers because they bought what was clearly a crappy version of a launch title. And it's good to see the company listening to the reactions. I mean, we saw that with Mass Effect 3 with the changed ending, because let's face it, that ending was kind of terrible. But let's go through your reactions. Here is your reactions to last week's question. What's your thoughts on online only? All right, everyone, let's go through your reactions from last week's Facebook Friday question. What's your thoughts on online only? We're discussing that big issue about EA Games, Maxis, SimCity, Diablo 3. Big issue to talk about, and surprisingly a little response on this one. So everybody must have been busy or something. But let's look through. Marco left his thoughts on this issue, and he said, I do not play with the series of Sims games, but I think the next game is interesting. It's almost like the real world. So, honestly, I don't think the issue here of online only really affected Marco on this one. So, looking at that, maybe there are people who look at the gameplay experience and can look past issues like that. I mean, even though it is only a single-player game, people are going to go for it for the experience, not just how it's packaged or in what way it's presented or in what rules, like online only. The fact that you have to play with everybody online. So, Marco, thank you very much for your thoughts. And Piernano, he gave his thoughts as well. His thoughts are on the opposite, extreme end of it. He's saying, I think EA is trying to kill video games. I don't know if it's going that far. You see, the thing that you have to look at with something like this is the whole idea of profitability. Because really, the big thing that we were looking at before was releasing the game, putting it out there, and it's a one game, one cartridge sort of experience. That model really doesn't do it anymore, because you're noticing games like the Facebook games where there's this mass marketing, mass connection to everybody you know, and that connection draws more people into the games. Also, when you have a market like that, if you're constantly connected, you can constantly be bombarded with advertising, or you can constantly be bombarded with new items that you can buy for the game as you go along. Most people probably aren't going to buy it, but there's going to be that 10, 20, 30% of people who are going to buy the items that they think will help them in developing this game. Now, when you think about that, 10, 20% doesn't seem like that big of a number. But if 1 million people buy a certain title, 10% of that is 100,000 people. 100,000 people buying a $3 item is $300,000 for the company. Not like a huge amount of money like the launch title, but at the same time, that is a large number that goes into that company's pockets. Is it effective? Maybe. Is it a way that is going to turn off some gamers? Oh, you better believe it is. But at the same time, are they looking at putting out a quality product, or are they looking at putting out a game that's going to make them money? And that is the common denominator for anything that is online only. That's the thing you have to look at with something like this. Pierre Nano, thank you very much for giving your thoughts on this. It's great to have your constant feedback. And Pierre Nano also contributes to our Google Plus community of GameNTrain. So be sure to check that out. The link for the Google Plus community is in the article on GameNTrain for this episode, and also it's on the description below on YouTube. So check it out. It's a great place to get into the discussion here at GameNTrain. There's your thoughts on this issue. What's your thoughts on online only? If you have thoughts on it, let us know. Let us know what you think about issues like this, because this is a fun feature. It's all about you. It's all about getting your opinions on this, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm Jeff Johnson. Thank you for watching Game On.
You know what they say, when life hands you lemons.
Do a barrel roll.
And when you want to know about your favorite games, listen to Game On with Jeff Johnson on GameNTrain.com.